Hey, how are you? Well, what I hope is going to be a fairly quick video. It's about what we are taking in order to be back in good shape. Both Beth and I have had our medical challenges, which we needn't go into too much. But Beth is under the doctor's orders in a specialist, with a specialist in Tagbilaran, and we go up there. It used to be every month. Now she's making progress, and so it's every 2 months. And she's just been up there now, and had her tests, which all seem to be about level. It's up to me, because Beth actually is a fussy eater, so it's really up to me to try to bring in some, what can we say, some reinforcements for getting into better shape. Now, when I was living alone in Florida, I was working out every day and at the gym as well. So I was lifting weights. I was doing a lot of walking, hiking for health's sake, and I was riding a bike everywhere rather than using a car. So I was in extremely good shape. I also used to use the juicer, which I highly recommend to anyone who is having trouble losing weight. But it's not just about losing weight, it's about getting healthy as well. I'm in arguably fairly good shape for my age. I'll be 84. I'm 84 now. I'll be 85 in just a few weeks. I'll get it right eventually. It's old age, you know. So I thought I would show you what we have actually had to budget in, and tell you what the costs are as well. I tend to eat like this because when I was in Florida, as I was saying, I used to try to eat as much raw food as possible, and definitely no sodas, nothing that came sweetened at all. I cut out sugar. I used to have one meal in the end, after being a little bit bored on being a juicer all the time. I lived on a juicer, so I had lots of veggies, I had lots of fruit. I used to buy apples 14 and 15 pounds at a time. We used to use them all the time, a lot. Carrots I use a lot. When you do the juicer, you'll find that carrots are an absolute basic to doing most juices. So I'm having a little snack type meal today. I went by PP Coffee today, and there were so many cars parked outside. I thought they must be having some kind of a function. So I didn't go in for my usual simple, what I think of as a protein meal, which is a tiny bit of rice, literally a few spoonfuls of rice from the normal. There's a standard cup of rice that they give you out here. Every restaurant you go in adheres to this standard cup of rice. I eat hardly any of that rice, and I have 3 eggs. So that's what I think of as my basic protein lift for the day. I also, and I'm going to put the camera onto what I'm actually eating and talking about now, rather than my ugly old mug. I'm sure you'll be very relieved at that. So you can see, I think of this as an alternate meal, a substitute meal. I've got 3 tomatoes. Tomatoes, very, very good for you, for prostate health, and cheese, once again, protein. And then for my sweet tooth, still trying to stay healthy, I've got an orange that's going to be eaten there. Now, what do we need in terms of supplements? People are very split on, even the experts are very split on whether you can get what you need from supplements or whether it should be from just plain food. Well, in an ideal world, you would be doing it all from food. but we don't live in an ideal world. In an ideal world, I would only be 45, and I'm not. So let's go on based on reality. I did stretch the budget a little on doing this for me because I work out and I think that I need a little more protein than I normally might, and what normally might be consumed by someone my age. But when you start to work out and start to push your body, then I think that you need some protein. Lots of arguments whether whey protein is the right one. We're not going to go into it. I work with what I've got. This doesn't taste too bad. So that's what I work with. Now, starting at this end, we've got a basic, this is a basic for adults, all-inclusive vitamin pill, right? So as it says there, vitamin C and zinc, there are higher levels of that here. We'll take their word for it. Please don't anybody with an extremely purist look at the world, even if you do know what the situation is. I know that none of this is perfect. So what's the next thing? D3. Vitamin D. Seems an irony that we live in such a hot country. We're now in very cool temperatures. It was 26 today, which is very cool for us. It has been up around the 34 to 36 where I'm living right now. But we need this, and this is an extremely good vitamin to have. Don't ask for technical, medical type breakdowns of what these things do, but I have saw palmetto. Saw palmetto is reputed to be good for prostate health, which at my age is another concern. That most people after, well, we're talking about men, most men after the age of, well, can come earlier, but after the age of 45 or 50, they'll be looking at the possibility of an enlarged prostate. Now, calcium citrate, magnesium, and zinc, and it also has vitamin D3. So we're doubling up on a lot of this and maybe overdoing it. But if you've been underdoing on the diet, then a little overdoing you can always pee out. So, Super B complex, especially, as I've read, especially for women who are often deficient in this. Now, a little while ago, in order to back up what I'm saying about all of this, a little while ago, we went and we answered an advert that was in YouTube or Facebook, and it was for a company that did a scan. You could go in and have a scan, and of course it's a budget scan, but it was only, this is a few months ago now, about 2 maybe 3 months, and they will scan you through your hand. So you put your hand on the pad and it takes the scan from your hand. Now, one of the things that it registered very much so was vitamin deficiency. Now, as I say, Beth is actually a very fussy eater. You know, to get her to eat this, you would be a big stretch. You might be able to get her to take 2 or maybe 3 of these. So half an orange. She will eat any number of bananas and certain kinds of, let me say, traditional Filipino vegetables. There's one that's a member, it seems to me, it's a member of the cucumber family, but it's very bitter. I can't eat it myself, so I just get it for her, and she will have that and cook it into the food. Stuff like onions, tomatoes, lettuce, cabbage, all of that, if I don't pay attention, she won't put any of that into the stew that we get when we have our meat on the bone, which you can get here. They charge you for the bone here, so you get some meat on the bone and you pay for the bone as well. That comes in with it. But as I've said before, what they do is I'll take you and show you. I'll pull out one of these. Here we've got. Now that's how we get it. See that, look? Now that's pork on the bones, and that's what they would consider a large helping. So does it have the weight there? Not sure. Yeah, 432 kilograms. So that's what you get for that. And when we cook that, then we get a rich soup come broth, depending where you come from in the world. So back to the table. That's this is the kind of meal that I used to eat when I was living alone. Of course, it doesn't fly when you're living with a woman. But my thought on it is to eat as much raw food as you possibly can. The only processed food that I eat at the moment is a very small square cut into triangles of ham, which is obviously a processed out of the can, and that comes with the meal that I have when I go to PP Coffee and have three eggs. So they no longer think that I'm crazy when I go there and have that meal every day that I go, and they've accepted that's what I eat. So they don't look at me sideways anymore. But this kind of thing, this would fulfill quite a lot of needs. I break down when it comes to having coffee, which I have in a 3-in-1 pack. It's in a very small little package, and it makes 1 cup of coffee. Now, that 1 cup of coffee is 3-in-1, so it's also coffee. There's coffee creamer and sugar, and that's where I fail, because I actually love that. When I go to PP Coffee, they give me what they call an American coffee, which is just the coffee comes black, but they give me a little tumbler of milk that I put in there. The milk you could do with staying off. That's another thing that you could do with staying off if possible. I used to indulge myself and have a muesli, which is a fancy name for a cereal, and I'd have milk with that, but I'm now seeing that milk is not such a good idea, certainly for the kind of health that I'm trying to rehabilitate. So that's what I'm giving Beth. She's already quibbled about that, and she says that if she's read somewhere on Facebook or YouTube, which is where most people are self-diagnosing now, I think, and she's read there that if your pee is yellow, you must be taking in too many vitamins. I'll take that chance and have the vitamins myself, and try to encourage her to have what I have. That doesn't include this whey protein drink, right? This has been duplicated in a way. That's like swallowing a bullet. So that's almost out now, and I don't give that to Beth. That's more to do with trying to get in shape in training. Super B, I'll get her to have. The magnesium and zinc, much better on if you're feeling tired. That's a good one to have. And the calcium obviously is a good one to have. And calcium, if you're taking calcium, I've also read that having vitamin D is helpful in processing the calcium. Saw palmetto, I don't give that to Beth. And this leaves us with the basic vitamin pill, all inclusive. That's a new formula, it says, and Centrum is a good company, I think, as good as any of them are. So that's it. I wouldn't dream of offering this to Beth. She would kill me. As I said, maybe a few pieces of this, but not too much. She's not allowed to drink coffee because of her change of lifestyle. She has been super disciplined on not having things that she really loves. No bottom feeder seafood, stuff that she could have lived on entirely, along with rice. She would have eaten crab, prawns, anything like that. As I say, what I call bottom feeders. She would have loved that, and she doesn't have any of that. She doesn't have fish, no seafood at all, which is a huge discipline move for her. Getting to bed early at night and sleeping through until late in the morning. Late for us, 6 or 7. Personally, I try to get up at 4. It's very quiet time and quite good for creative thinking. So I like to get up, if I can, at 4. And that's our lifestyle at the moment. We live very simply, and we're trying to get back to the basics. So that's what we're doing right now. Anybody have any comments? We don't need to have the nasty ones. We have had enough of those. But anyway, let's know what you have found is good, what you have taken any of these 4 super complex, the B, the calcium, the D3, saw palmetto, any of those, what you have taken them for, and what benefits you've seen. And I hope that you will share this. Please at least like. It does show on the YouTube artificial eye. Can't say the whole thing, they'll ban the video. But anything on the algorithms will show if we are being liked and that the comments are coming in as well. Always enjoy the comments and always respond. If it gets nasty, I just delete them and delete the person. So there's where we are. Please like, comment, subscribe. Do subscribe. It does help us a lot. And bye for now.